Welcome back, and today we are playing out the F-5C, and honestly it's not all that special. It's essentially a MiG-19 with AIM-9Ps. Now we do have some ordnance and some fuel tanks, but honestly they aren't all that fantastic. We are running the S5K for flares, and then we run the AIM-9Ps to kill basically everything that doesn't have flares. 9.7 is a little bit of a rough BR to not have flares at. Luckily there aren't that many high powered missiles. You mainly want to be careful of AIM-9Ls and R60Ms, but luckily you don't really run into those all too often, and when you do run into them it's mostly an Su-25 or perhaps an A-10, and those planes are really not that big of an issue when you have the flight performance of the F-6C, because that is still going to be the main party trick. In the 1v1 this thing can handle about anything. The F-8E, for example, is a plane that is quite strong, but even when it has an energy advantage, it will struggle against you. First off, here we will start a little bit flat. We are going into a little bit of a raid, and I'm trying to maintain my speed at about Mach 0.8, 0.85. And if we do this, then this F-8E really doesn't have much of a chance, because I will just wait for him to bleed all of his energy, even though he had more to begin with, and eventually I will start ending up on his 6. And I notice that he's going pretty slow now, so I'm just going to be stamping on the elevator. I'm not going to be pulling completely fully. I am holding on to a little bit of energy, but at this point I have him by the balls, and we don't really need to worry about maintaining our energy all too much. It's all about positioning, and you can tell that very slowly I am slotting onto this guy's 6. He tries to run away. I'm trying to missile him. He doesn't really see the guy that's coming in from the side. He also didn't dodge, but eventually it doesn't matter, because I will out accelerate him, and I'm going to be catching him pretty rapidly here. I'm trying to get to him before the F-35 does. So we line up the shot, click the trigger and explode his balls, and that is going to be the one kill that we get that entire match, because unfortunately this plane just isn't all that fantastic when it comes to really fragging out. It's a little bit dependent on what kind of game you run into, and when you find yourself in a game like this game right here, the plane is actually pretty good. But when you run into the very frequent snowballs, you're gonna have a bit of an issue. It takes time to kill people, and while the AIM-9Ps definitely help when you have multiple people underneath you that are all trying to go up for you and they're all completely drained, then yeah, if they don't have flares you can clean them up very quickly with the AIM-9Ps. The issue is that most of the time you have already used your missiles when this situation arises, because you need to try to snowball it in your team's favor so that the 1v4 doesn't happen in the first place. Can you drain the balls of everyone at the same time? Definitely, but the issue is that when they start breaking up in different directions, or they try playing together, or they have high powered missiles and they all just kind of hang underneath you, it's incredibly annoying to kill these guys in a timely manner, which most of the time means that you will be overrun. And when you don't get overrun and you actually have everyone slow and it takes a little bit to kill people, what also happens pretty often is by the time you finally are in the position to clean these guys up, the guy that was bombing the entire match finally comes back and then gets 3 kills for free, as they're all going 300 kilometers an hour directly underneath you, meaning that you might win the game, but you will end up with a singular kill to show for it, which is rather annoying. In a game like this, however, where everyone is kind of spread out, this plane is incredibly strong, and we are going to be facing a lot of planes that we can pretty easily deal with. The Hunter isn't really a big concern of mine. I will dog that guy all day long, so I will keep my eyes on the MiG-21 SPS for now, because I don't want to deal with R60. So we merged with him. I wasn't going for the shot there. I'm simply trying to get onto this guy without him getting a shot on me. And when I go vertical like that, a MiG-21 SPS is never going to be following me up. And I noticed that this guy has a gun and missiles, which means he doesn't have flares, but he gets his wings on off and we disengage. We only have 1 missile left. I do want to keep it in case I'm going to need it a little bit later, so I'm just going to be looking around and seeing who to engage. The Hunter is flying away. He has someone on his 6, and there is an F-8U around, but I'm not exactly sure where he is right now. So I need to be a little bit careful, as we don't want to get jumped. one of the issues with this thing is when you try to go for a 1v1, you saw it with the F-8E, and you will see it a little bit later in this game as well. You are going to be going incredibly slow, and it doesn't really matter what plane is running at you, whether it's a Harrier, a Yak-38, and they don't even have to have missiles. They will kill you relatively easily. Miss a second head-on with the Hunter, and this time I can just go vertical. We don't have a teammate in the near vicinity. There is a guy coming in, but we have a little bit of room here, so we just do a little bit of a high yo-yo. We get back onto a 6, and we will now very easily outrun this guy. This guy is never going to be outrunning us. Much worse acceleration, lower top speed, and he had less energy to start off with. He flies perfectly straight. We squeeze the trigger, down he goes, and that is another kill for the history books. Now, what do we do now? Well, we notice the F8U coming in, as well as the Su-25, and the Su-25 is mildly annoying, so I'm just going to be breaking up for a little bit, give them a little bit of room to start turning with the F8E, and then I rejoin the fight and start third partying someone. Going on with the F8, don't connect yet again. Head-ons with this thing are not my strongest point, so we just fly straight, and as long as the F8U doesn't turn around, we will finish off the Su-25. Now, he is definitely going to be losing this fight in the long run if the F8E is a good player, but we can't really rely on that, so I am going to be picking him off by missing my shot. Is this guy going to be doing anything? No, not really. I'm going to keep it horizontal because I know there is a Mirage as well as an F5 on the other side of the map, so I'm trying to keep my speed a little bit. I don't really need to go for the energy trap as it is an Su-25, so I just keep it flat, keep my energy in case we get jumped from a different angle. And at this point the Su-25 is way too slow to do anything, and down he goes, and that is, I think, kill number 3. And now we know that the F8 is on the runway. We only have 6 minutes of fuel left, and I know there is an F5 in the middle of the map together with a Q5, I think, and the Mirage, but I'm not sure where any of these guys are, so I am just going to again cruise with low afterburner towards the middle of the map and see if we can find any of our enemies. And of course we will eventually, but it's going to take a little bit of time. And there is the F5. Now, I'm not entirely sure which exact variant it is, but at the same time it doesn't really matter because I feel confident that I can deal with those guys relatively easily. Get spooked a couple of times on the minimap, so I keep looking around, but they are just the AI bots. Notice a contrail in the background, and for now I'm just going to be focusing on the F5, but I'm pretty certain that he knows I'm here, considering the way he is flying towards the middle of the map. I think he's trying to avoid me, so I'm gonna be trying to give chase for the time being. And at this point I am 99% certain that this guy knows exactly that we're here, and that he is not going to be taking the dogfight until he is in the advantageous position. Right now he has a bit more energy, he's faster, he has more altitude, but it is an F5 and we are in basically a MiG-19, so I am gonna be breaking off, give him some room, so he wants to merge with us. Now that's exactly what he does. He tries to push for a head-on, but I positioned myself so he couldn't do that, and then I go vertical. I'm trying to cut off this guy's flight path because I want to force a dogfight and I want to start behind him. I need to clean this up as quickly as I can so I don't get jumped by the other 3 guys that are somewhere on the map. The F8U probably just took off again. The Mirage, no idea where he is. Q5, whatever it is, no idea where it is. So I need to play this a little bit cautiously, but I'm not gonna go for the landing because I know that we will win on tickets, and this A10 is still going for ground units or AI units in general. There is the F8U. I have a little bit of room, and you can tell that instantly I will turn around and I'm going to be engaging the F5 as soon as I can. I want this guy to overshoot, so I'm going to not afterburn into the merge until the very last moment. I don't want to pick up too much speed. We go vertical. We go a little bit more horizontal than him. He's trying to go very vertical, and because we cut our throttle a little bit, we will instantly get onto this guy's 6. Now we are going a little bit too slow. I'm trying to line up the shot here, but he notices what I'm about to do and he rolls out of the way. I almost get the shot, but I didn't feel quite confident, and with the ammo that I have, I'm just not going to be shooting just yet. The F5 at this point though is essentially done. He is not going to be outrunning me, but there is the AV8 to clean up the kill. And that's what I mean. This was a relatively short fight, but because it takes just too long to kill people very quickly, your teammates will very often be right there to lick up your scraps. Here comes the F-5C. He is going to be shooting magics at me. He probably just rearmed, so I need to be a little bit wary. I am going to be pre-flaring. Luckily he overshoots and we get to go head on with Mr. Grandson GDK 092. Now what do? He tries to flare. We don't even have all aspect missiles. Luckily we have all aspect guns and he instantly bites the dust. A5 comes in. We are going to be flaring that missile relatively easily. Cut the afterburner, drop the missiles or the rockets, and the missile just goes absolutely nowhere. Luckily it's a magic 1 and not a magic 2. Mr. Grandson gets a little bit mad in the chat, so we let him know that I'm not really accepting the invitation, and for now I am only 6 of the A5 and this is going to be a relatively easy shot. And there goes kill number 5. Now there is one more guy who is parked on the runway, that is the Mirage, but he is not going to be taking off in time and the tickets will start to drop. And there he is. And that's really all I have for you today. The F-6C is a decent plane, but it again doesn't fit the War Thunder meta, which in turn means that it's not the best plane. Is it terrible? No. Is it boring? Yeah, a little bit, because it's just another MiG-19 again with slightly different ordnance, and that's exactly what you should expect from it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.